Well, hello guys, Pokeplayer, and today I'm back for another video, and today's video is a special video because it is another NUCL battle video. Today's week battle is against Raymond, and Raymond has brought a pretty darn scary team, but that's what Raymond's draft is about. He has an extremely scary team with things like Mega Camerupt, Gorbish, Yuxi, a lot of threats. And I had to make a plan to win this battle against Raymond, and today's battle is a really darn good battle. I definitely thought I did prepare for some other mons because he also has Sock in the back, and I was preparing for that mon, but I didn't have any counters for Sock whatsoever. But today we have a good battle, and luckily enough Raymond did not bring Sock. But well, let's just start the battle and see how it goes. So Raymond is issuing a challenge, and he leads up with Maxi the Camerupt, and this is a Mega Camerupt. And this thing was a threat to my team. I didn't really know what to lead off, what to expect from this thing, but I did know that he had a Sunny Day team in the what I saw before. But my opponent decides to Mega Evolve because you have to Mega Evolve first turn. That's a rule if you have a Mega in your draft, but there are only 2 Megas in NU, so it's not really necessary. But he goes for the Fire Blast, and NUCL is really specially defensive, but it is not able to take 2 Fire Blasts, unfortunately enough. But I do know that NUCL head weak is quite a fast wall, and I decided to go for the Air Slash just to get some damage off. I did get a crit, and he goes for the Sunny Day, but that's fine. He was probably predicting me to roost to get up, to maybe predict him to miss, but I'm not the kind of player who relies on misses of things like Fire Blast. That's annoying. So I go for another Air Slash. I did get a crit on the first turn, and I do get not a crit on the second turn and not a flinch. And he goes for another Fire Blast, and that's definitely going to kill in the sun. But the Mega Cameron is down a lot of health, which is great. And now I can switch into my MVP, into Badahari, and I can go for the Drain Punch. I know that the Drain Punch is going to kill. I did look it up, and I know Mega Cameron is bulky, but not that bulky, because Hitmonchan is a beast. So I am running another Life Orb Hitmonchan, but I can't hurt Psychic, Ghost, and Fairy types, which is annoying. So now I have to switch out, because the only thing I have is Fire Punch, I believe, or Ice Punch. And what did he go for? He went for Thunder Wave, but luckily enough I did make the right play and go into Rotom. So right here I was kind of predicting him to go into something. He had a normal type, but I'm not sure which one it was. But I just played it safe and went for Shadow Ball at this point, and I was wondering what Ampharos actually had to hit me with, because I was looking through Ampharos's move pool, and it doesn't have anything to hit me with. But I did know that I had to leave my D-counter in a good amount of HP, so I decided to go into my ET. It was not the most useful member on the team. This was Assault Vested, as you guys can see, because I took a good hit. So now he goes for the Signal Beam, does a significant amount of damage, but I do manage to go for the Psyshock, and because it hits on the physical side, it does mean that the Ampharos is going down, which is good. So now my opponent goes into the Frogadier, but I did decide to preserve my my Behemoth for now, and I went into my Hitmonchan predicting a Dark type move, but he actually went for the U-turn, which is actually annoying because, oh no, it is resisted. I always forget that fighting resists bug, but it doesn't do enough damage, so that's good. So now my opponent goes back into the Yuxi, and I know I can't hurt this thing, so I have to switch out, unfortunately enough, and I go into my Behemoth just to get some more damage off. And my opponent goes for the Calm Mind, which is annoying, but I knew because Yuxi doesn't have any reliable recovery, I know that I can at least weather him down. So he goes for another Calm Mind, and I do run Shadow Ball on this set because it hits a lot of things, and I was carrying this just for the Yuxi. So now I decide to go for another Shadow Ball, and it does still a good amount of damage, even though he is at +2. That means that this Yuxi is max defense for sure. And now he goes for the Dazzling Gleam, and looking at him only having Dazzling Gleam and me taking another one, I know that my Bastiodon is definitely able to deal with this guy. So now I get a special defense drop, which doesn't really matter in the long run, I believe. I'm not sure. It depends on what Pokemon I switch in after this. This battle was quite a few, maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So I don't remember all the turns anymore. So now he goes for a Psyshock and manages to kill me, of course, because Behemoth is more specially defensive than defensive, and he is at +2. So now I go into my Bastiodon, right? The special defense drop didn't matter too much. So he goes for the Thunder Wave, which is fine by me. I'm not sure what I went for. Maybe I got paralyzed. No, I went for the Toxic just to wear him down, because I know that Uxie doesn't have any reliable recovery. The only reliable recovery that Uxie actually gets is Rest, of course. And that's not reliable because you have to run Chesto Berry or Sleep Talk. So now my opponent decides to switch out because Uxie is not able to hurt my Bastiodon at all. And he goes into the power. And this is where I made this Bastiodon set for. I made it specifically to damage, to actually counter out Sog for a little bit. Because, oh, you didn't see that. But he went for the Surf and I went for the Metal Burst. And that's definitely able to kill the Gorbis, but I decided to make this set with Metal Burst for the Mega Camerupt and the Sog. And I also ran Custard Berry, as you guys can see from here. And I managed to set up the Stealth Rocks, which is great. I was actually running Custard Berry to go almost down to a Earth Power from a Mega Camerupt or a Close Combat. And after that kill the Pokemon and then go for the Toxic on the next wall. That was my plan, and it did work out pretty nicely. I did manage to get up my rocks, which was nice. And now I go for my Fake Out. And looking from this damage, this was a really weird damage. Because the regular Frogadier had a strange... the damage calc gave me another number. And looking at the damage I did and go for the Drain Punch right here. And did manage to kill him, which was a close call, I believe. But luckily enough, I did not get burned by the skull. But the damage calc told me that a regular Frogadier would have... my Fake Out on a regular Frogadier would have done way more damage. And after the battle, Raymond told me that he actually ran a Firelight Frogadier, which was really strange. But it did almost manage to help him out, but it didn't in the end. So now he goes for the Psyshock, and I did not really have a switch in. And I just needed my counter to do enough damage to the Uxie because that was necessary from this point. And I did preserve my Rotom just for the Uxie and as a Death Fodder later on. So now I go for the Shadow Ball and I do manage to score. No, I do manage to kill the Uxie, which was nice and useful. And now my opponent goes into the Regirock. I know this is his last Pokemon and I know it's gonna be dangerous, but I can go for the Shadow Ball right here, do some extra damage onto the Regirock. I cannot risk him setting up or something like that, so I do a good amount of damage. He does land his Stone Edge, which is cool. And now I go into my Hitmonchan, I believe. Yep, because I want some more kills for Hitmonchan. And I go for the Drain Punch. I should have gone for the Fake Out, but I did just go for the Drain Punch, which was fine, but it did matter a little bit in the long run because this Regirock actually ran the weakness policy, and if I managed to do a little bit less damage because it was depending on a roll, I would have lost the battle because he would have killed me after that, and I did not have any priority left. But it was still an amazing battle against Raymond. Make sure to check out this channel and to check out the NUCL league. I will leave the description of the spreadsheet in the description below. And then I'll see you guys in my next video. Later.